I got to be the one to do this? Why does it seem nobody's going to talk on this? Like, y'all are just legitly just going to act like this ain't happened. There's a few dudes out there that are speaking on it, and I salute y'all, and y'all know who y'all are. Y'all want to know the sad reality? People are more worried about clout, views, clicks, and how far they can go with their, I guess, social media career than they are when it comes to actually having morals. What are we talking about? Y'all seen the thumbnail, so you already know what we're talking about, or you wouldn't have clicked on it. Adam, she ain't 22. Adam, she ain't. Adam, allegedly, like, Adam 22. No Jumper. Now, as y'all know, No Jumper is currently falling all the way apart. What we would call falling apart, a lot of people wouldn't call falling apart. But when you're used to seeing the amount of money that they make, you could say, okay, things are messing up. Started off this year with the whole Lush One incident where Lush came to work. He's working for No Jumper. And it seems like Adams just got a ensemble of guys on board that just can't get along. They kind of go back and forth. And Lush became more or less like the whooping boy. Like, dude started picking on him. He's an older dude. When I say older, not like an old man, but more mature than a lot of the cast. And they saw him, in my opinion, as an easy target. He would take it back and forth with the battle rap and trying to have fun with it. And they continues to clown him. So then Adam goes behind AD. And shout out to AD, man. One of the most solid dudes from No Jumper, in my opinion. Adam would then go behind AD's back and say some things that Lush repeated. And he didn't like that, so he goes on to fire Lush on a live stream. I run a business, right? You don't conduct yourself like that. You pull people to the side, pull them in the office. You don't go on a live and sit there because he had the right one. That's what we all know. He had Lush one, which is a nice guy. He wouldn't have done that to AD. He wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have done that to none of them other dudes. He wouldn't have pulled not near one of them out there, except maybe the guy that records the videos and edits, and sat them down in front of the world on a live stream, smiled in their face like that, and fired them. No, he wouldn't. But he knew he had a nice guy he was dealing with. So that was that. Then he tried to take AD, switch time slots, start changing things up, which AD has been there. AD has saved Mr. Adam Sheen 22's ass on way more than one occasion. We've seen it. I mean, we can go pull the footage, and there's been many times when Milk showed up, AD come out. When dude just threw that stuff on him here recently and was getting ready to go upside his head, AD jumped up. Like, time and time again, AD has been loyal. He has been a friend. And in a matter of moments, Adam's like, nah, none of that really matters, man. I'm going to do what I want. It's mine. I get it. It's yours. But don't forget the people that helped you make it there. Now, let's go back into the background and the history of Adam 22. We're talking a middle-class white suburban guy that BMX rides, comes from the nice household, the nice parents, the Volvo in the driveway, the manicured lawn, the kids playing hockey in the cul-de-sac type neighborhood. Just does not look the part. This is not a street dude. This is not a guy that grew up in the streets. Not a guy that grew up around violence, that grew up really in the trenches. And somehow he transitions from BMX bikes and honey buns and donuts to tattoos, bald head, six pack, hip hop. Pretty much what I just said. And would go on to interview some of the biggest names in the game. Oddly enough, not knowing anything about these guys prior to bringing them on, not knowing about their music. I'm a fan of Cassidy. I seen the Cassidy interview recently where he said, "Yeah, I went back and I listened to your albums, and so you don't really even know about the music. You just got people on because you know people will watch. And if you watch, you go back and look, his stuff really, really took off when he got into the culture. When he went out there into the gangs and got into the neighborhoods and then really got tapped in with what the world loves, which is the music. And he's seen, man, they're gonna watch this. So what did he do? He started shoving it down their throats, shoving it down their throats. Where he messed up is he got out of his element. We all saw it. We watched it happen. When old boy ran up in there and pulled the blicky on him and was getting ready to rob him, he was, he got all shook one real quick. When dudes would get to fighting, you would see him, he'd be like, got shook real quick. When the little Kelpie got beat up on the show, he Got shook real quick. And did he fire the dude that beat him up? No, no. And that guy was going to cause more problems. Did he fire him? Nope. But he fired Lush because Lush repeated some things he said on some type of Discord, right? So repeating something you said on Discord is more serious than beating up one of the guests on the show. So we know why he fired Lush. He's a nice guy. He didn't fire the guy that beat somebody up. Well, because there's a chance that he's going to beat you up. There's no jumper's been flawed. Then we have the fact that there's been all these allegations. For years now, there's been allegations.
Fucking girls my age, right? Adam was fucking girls that was the same age as me when I was 16. Like, what's wrong with you, bro?
Bape allegations with the R. There's been misconduct with underage girls, several allegations. Now you got a little pump coming out saying that he was on tour with him and that, come on, bro, I was a juvenile town at that time. Them girls was like 15, 16. Now you know what you was doing with them little girls. Now you got another dude that's come forward and said, man, they kicked me out the room. I just wanted to go to sleep. And he was in there with little pump and them little girls. And it's all coming out now. Now, this isn't, some of this is new news, right? Some of this is like just now getting to our eardrums, just now knocking on the door. But for a lot of us, me especially, kind of looked into it. Everybody kept screaming this, go, no jumper, no jumper, no jumper. Fool me once, you got me. Fool me twice, that's on me. So I said, let me do some research. Let me look into who this dude is everybody says I need to link up with. As soon as I pulled his name up, boom, it was right there. You cannot tell me I'm the only person that pulled his name up. You cannot tell me that people are just so intrigued with going viral, being seen by the world, that they'll just run all the way to California and jump on a podcast or jump on an episode of No Jumper just to be seen. But sadly enough, that's what appears to be happening. And there's going to be a whole lot of dudes that it ain't going to be just milk knocking at the back door once everything comes to light. Because this has been something that he's lied about. Paint it how you want to. The man has been lying. Oh, let's jump into number one. Exhibit A. This right here is from EDM. I do not own the rights to any of this, but this is from EDM. And this is 2018. Adam 22 Grand Mason dropped from Atlantic Records after sexual assault allegations, allegedly. After multiple sexual assaults allegations, No Jumper founder Adam 22 has been released from Atlantic Records. It's not a good look, homeboy. You didn't do nothing, but they immediately released you. But I want you to hear something that caught my eye. A lot of y'all ain't slick enough to catch this type of stuff. Adam 22, real name Adam, has been accused by multiple women of assault while denies any wrongdoing. Graham Mason's girlfriend, Lena, has also allegedly been present during assaults. Now, we all know they're into some freaky things, like we all know. They do that P-O-O-R. And it's out there. And we'll get into that in a minute as well. Has also allegedly been present during assaults. The pair have released a nearly 20-minute video responding to the allegations and declaring their innocence. This video is now private. After the first set of accusations, spokespersons from Atlantic Records told Pitchfork that, listen now, hold on, back up, that they take the accusations very seriously and would be launching an investigation. Okay, so once again, a spokesperson from Atlantic Records told Pitchfork that they take the accusations very seriously and would be launching an investigation. Well, their investigation, as we all see, right from the beginning, led them to release him from Atlantic Records. Yeah. Although it started out as a BMX vlog podcast series, Graham Mason's No Jumper podcast became a staple in underground hip hop. Not BMXing, not punk rock, not all the things that he really does. Underground hip hop. And why do you think that is? Because it's one of the biggest things there is. The underground artists are the ones that become mainstream artists. The guys that are really into the culture are into all aspects of the music. He saw a cash cow and he rode it into town. There's no denying he had a lot of great interviews, a lot of great people on, right? But it really makes me question, like, was it for the 5 seconds of fame? Did guys not know? Did guys know and not care? Now everybody's always paperwork. If there ain't no paperwork, Jay, you wrong. You wrong. You look, man. If he walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, that motherfucker's a duck. Like you got that creepy old man in the neighborhood that everybody knows. Like, don't let your kids around him. When you see him, put the kids in the house. Get the kids in the house. Hey, man, you better stay in your. Don't you come over here. And nobody's seen no paperwork, but everybody's aware of what he's done. They know. Everybody's aware of what he's done. They know. But yet, hey, it's no jumper, right? The coolest podcast in the world. Let me get into another thing real quick, which I don't like to do. I'm just gonna be real with you. There's something about him. And when everything comes out, me and a couple other guys, y'all gonna be like, all right, man, y'all was right. But there's just from day one, there's always been something about dude. I don't know if it's his smirk, if it's he reminds me of the dudes back in the day that would try to fit in with us that didn't really belong. Like you don't live out here. You don't do what we do. You don't go home to the life that we go home to. You leave school and you go home to a two-car garage and soccer games, and we go back to the trailer parks and projects and hustle and walk the streets till daylight. We come to school sometimes wearing the same jeans as yesterday, same socks. Sometimes we won't even go home. And you want to try to kind of blend in and be like us, only to go home to your nice house every night. I was never a fan of those type of guys. Now let's get into another part, right? The guy proclaims to be telling the truth. And we know he's lying. One of the most recent things being when it come out that house phone, which is a friend of his, also was once somebody that was on the show that, strangely enough, is no longer on the show. It was recently revealed through several sources that house phone had smashed his now, I believe, I know it's his baby mama. I'm not sure if they're married yet. I don't want to get that wrong. But Lena the Plug, aka Adam 22's girl, right? His homeboy house phone had smashed. And when he was asked in an interview if it bothered him, he kind of casually played it off. So let me get this right. You got up there and lied in front of the world and said, no, it didn't bother you. So, dude, just painting the inside of your girl. I'm talking about knocking dents. I'm talking about beating walls down, breaking back, slipping disc in her back, putting legs behind her head, froggy style, and just bomb, 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 bomb. Nothing but the sack hanging out. Everything else just a sack. You look down and all you saw was a sack hanging out, and that didn't bother you. Knowing that when you go down there and you just exploring that at one point it was drip, 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 drip. That never bothered you. You, him, and her being in the same exact room together, looking over like, man, this dude piped my girl down. Didn't bother you. Would you then leave and go to the store and leave them two at the house together? Say yes. Say you would. Hell no. Because if he hit it, he can hit it again. Or maybe you're under the impression that porn stars that let your homeboys smash are loyal. We're just gonna move away from that, but in that, what I just said just now, you're a liar. If you have smashed and I find out, there's a good chance me and her relationship isn't gonna go too much further. I'm not gonna take you serious. I can't bring you around knowing dude just dropped all his kids off and left them with you. That's my homeboy. We we like this, not like this. Like this is done. It was cool while it lasted. No, I keep having these reoccurring nightmares of you just getting pogged, just corn cob. Didn't even spit on it. Just once again, none but a sack hanging out. Esophagus busted. Just ski, ski, ski on the back, all in the teeth and all that. And you can come behind and kiss her. Didn't bother you though, right? Mm. Crazy. Next on my plate, you have a whole entire pimp, documented pimp on your show who has charges for pimping, who has allegations of putting girls on drugs and pimping them. You're talking a man that's nothing to offer the world that cannot get out there and get money in no other way other than making a female sell her body parts. Now, this would be somebody that you thought would be a good look for your podcast. Let's hire a pimp. Let's hire a broke, busted down, washed up pimp that's going to come on here and it's going to snap on females, disrespect the hell out the girls. You could tell how his pimping was in the street just by the way he treats the females on the show. Quick to get in them females' faces, quick to just, I'm talking about, talk to these girls like they're nothing, disrespect them to the very core. I mean, just they come on there as a guest, and then you've got this crusty, dusty, little greasy ass pimp over here disrespecting females on your platform, right? Then you bring on, let's get back to the little Kelpie thing. You bring Kelpie on, and his energy was off right from the gate, right? Because he takes pimping serious. Must be something he takes pride in. He gets mad when somebody comes on there and ain't really a pimp, right? Because you notice or not, there's nothing good about taking a girl who's at her lowest point in life and using her for financial gain. Not a fan of the whole idea of pimping. That is, you do understand, like there's so much involved in that. There's human trafficking, there's the brainwashing aspect, and then there's the whole fact of you take her money. She does all the work, brings the guys in the room, you're in the room. What are you doing when she brings the guys in the room? Well, you just sit over in the corner and just twirl your hair and play with money. So it's boom boom time over there in the motel bed. And then when everybody leaves, it's you and that same girl in the room. So you can't tell me you ain't following behind them. But I didn't like the fact that he had one type of energy when you had this little Kelpie dude on the show, right? Take that jacket off. Take that jacket. I'll spit, like super disrespectful, super greasy with him, right? But then he runs into somebody that really wants some smoke, like Whack 100. And when Whack tells him, I need that fade, we got to run it. But why? What you mean, but why? The man said he wants to fight. He wants to fight. You wasn't asking Lil Kelpie, but why? But why? You wasn't curious because you knew you had an easy win. But when somebody that's been known to fight and to put the mitts on you, the questions start coming into play. But why? What you mean, but why? Because the man said he wants to see you. But now it's a problem. No respect. Moving forward, you now see the cast has changed drastically. Got a whole lot lighter in there in the past few weeks. And now that everybody's leaving, the truth about you's coming out. Somebody said that at first they thought he was a black dude.
But yeah, that too also. Well, because everyone said Adam does hip hop, so I didn't know you were just the slave owner and not the.
Right? This was funny to him because he had such a chuckle about it. Dude said, man, at first I thought you were a black dude. Then I come to find out you're not a black dude, you're just a slave owner. At that point, they should have been like, what'd you say? Hold up, back the fuck up. What did you just say? Because he proclaims AD, House Phone, all the T-Rail, all these different dudes, these black dudes on his show. They're supposed to be friends, right? These aren't just the employees. These are guys you claiming your friends. But this guy you just had on referenced your friends / employees as slaves and you being their master. And you moved right through it, just laughed and just went on about your time like there was nothing wrong in that statement. Not to mention, previously before that, you brought on a proclaimed neo-Nazi. You brought on a well-known racist onto a podcast that consists of urban culture, hip-hop music, and you bring on a known racist. I think what happened is in the beginning, he saw the money, the potential that he could make off of black people, off of black music, off of hip hop, and that's what mattered. But then moving forward, when things started getting real, he didn't want no parts of it no more. After Lil Kelpie got beat up, he done had dude running there like we talked about, pulled a blicky on him. There's been several fights. He's got dudes splashing water in his face. Dudes are ready to put hands on him at this point. And now he wants to switch up his content. See, this is what happens. You take these dudes out the suburbs and they can blend in for a little while. But when they're not used to violence or they don't know how to deal with violent situations and things get chaotic, you see him sitting there like, oh shit, what have I gotten myself into? You really see what somebody's made of when shit pops off and I'm in too deep. Oh man, I done got the money now. Now it's time to start kicking these dudes out. We'll go back to doing what I really want to do. And then you got some dudes that all they care about is the paycheck. They care about the paycheck. And we've come to find out this man is getting rich. He's getting rich and paying some people. The one dude didn't even get $1,000. I think he said he got like $900. So you're making all this money off these dudes, and these dudes ain't even that. Like just 3 pair of tennis shoes. That's what he was worth to you. But then you've got other dudes that continue to work for you. This is what really blows my mind. They seen you bring a neo-Nazi on. They see the allegations. They hear other people coming forward and saying, yeah, I was there. Oh, yeah, I was there when he smashed the 16-year-old. And they're like, oh, it's cool. Neo-Nazi? Oh, it's cool. It's totally cool. It's all right. Dude called us slaves and said he was a slave owner. What'd he say? He laughed? Shit, I need that check, man. It's totally cool. It's cool. You got dudes that still rock out with him. You want to know, in my opinion, what should have happened? By now, he should have been had his shit split. He's gotten out of pocket several times and ain't nothing been done about it. AD ain't around to save your ass no more, so we can see who jumps up and comes to your defense. And then with the comments that have been made, and you chuck, laughing, good reason for dudes to slap the shit out you. Dude should have walked in there mid interview when you started laughing and fired on dude that said it and then looked at you and be like, you thought that was funny? Fired on you and even took it to the, hey, cameraman, you think that's funny? Anybody else in here laughing? Because I'm not laughing. But apparently in 2023, you can be called a slave owner and it's oh, that's funny, right? Being referenced as a slave owner and having employees to be considered slaves when you're supposed to be covering hip hop culture media. Yeah, that's super hilarious. Yet your platform still turns money. The numbers was boom. These other podcasts that have spun off, that have peeled up out of No Jumper and started up, they're doing their thing. And No Jumper is boom, starting to take a nosedive. The lesson in today's story is there's only so long to fake pretend. That man messed with them underage girls. Y'all know it. Stop with the Jay, you did wrong. Ain't no paper. Stop. All these people ain't saying that for no reason. Ain't nobody coming out. We ain't got groups of people, allegation after allegation after allegation on me. And y'all got allegation after allegation? Because last time I checked, when you had multiple people, several people saying pretty much the same thing, and then you've got people that you were actually around now coming forward and saying the same thing. When you've got friends of yours coming forward and saying the same thing, you need paperwork? Really? So you're telling me a duck has to wear a name tag to let you know it's a duck?
And they ended up looking like this.
If y'all can't see this for what it is, I ain't even got to have a jump shot to be in this league right here. I can't even play basketball, but I'm about to take over the championship. Y'all talk about culture vultures. You call me a culture vulture, right? Or you call somebody else that grew up in the streets or grew up in these rougher neighborhoods, went to rough schools, culture vulture. Somebody that spent a large majority of their life around other races, surrounded by races. When I was a child, rap music came out and I latched onto rap music and I never let go. These artists that he brings on, I know their music. I don't have to go back and research like, who is Cassidy? Who is Mr. Chicken? You really had to go play his albums to get into what he does? It's time. It's time we get the fakes out the building and let the real ones step up. But I don't ever want no one to question me. Thousands of interviews, all these big names, and y'all know. But hey, ain't no paperwork, right? So I guess that means for every crime I committed that I never got caught for, I didn't commit that crime, right? That's what y'all telling me, right? So if you get away with doing things, it never happened. See you next time. Let's go. Salute.
They did to me and Hakeem. He's just a shitty dude. And we didn't want to be part of his shitty dude antics anymore. He wasn't paying us. Heard Adam slapped me. Adam's never touched me. Adam can't fight. I would beat the fucking piss out of Adam with my fucking eyes closed, to be honest. I've been in a million fights with Adam and he cannot fight. I've seen him get his ass kicked like 4 times.
She don't catch up to him. He already got charges. Like, I'm gonna knock out. Listen, I'm gonna knock out that pedophile for all of you.